What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another live stream. If you are new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Before we get started, make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading is very risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I do not provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Make sure you do your own research, make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts. And the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top One Futures, code RDF, Bookmap, and others. Chat, how are we doing today, guys? How are we doing this morning? What's happening, guys? What is happening? Let's see what this market's got for us today as we get ready to open up right here, right now for NYSE session. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, guys. Cutting it close to the open here. First again, what's up? Time Pass Core, Sherrod, FX, Paul, Memphis, Thomas, James, Jamie, Mars, Dr. AK. What's happening? What's happening? Dwayne, Purple Ninja, Cyrus, Mark. What's going on, guys? What's going on? Alan, ADO King, Marcy, Mystic Rick. Good morning, good morning. Glenn B, good morning. Anybody that I missed, good morning. Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the show. Interested to see what we get out of these markets today. Kind of interested to see that sell-off yesterday. Really fun session yesterday, trading live with MLT Eric. If you missed that one, it's a pretty cool session. You can go back and watch yesterday's live. We both took W's, but it was a really good conversation. Really, really cool conversation. But let's talk markets right into this open, man. Let's talk markets here. Yeah, I think I'm going to redraw some zones here, guys. First off, I'm getting rid of this. This was his level from yesterday we were talking about. That's an all-time high. We can leave this up here. This is coming right off of yesterday's low. Selling off right into the open. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that, but just looking to do a little bit of touching up on my levels here. Yeah, I want something down here. Chatty McChat. That's really what I'm looking at. This big area of high volume down here. I want something coming off of all of this price action structure. So, real quick, before we even get into what I'm looking at into the open here, if I was gonna mark something from a much higher time frame, that would be it. I'm tempted to long this, guys. I think I'm gonna try to keep myself patient. I'm really tempted to long this. I think we could see this quick reversion right back up to VWAP. I just don't want to be too quick to the jump here, guys. I think I'm going to stay patient. If I had to take a trade right now, it would be long right back to VWAP. I think there's a really good opportunity to see that happen. Stop outside of yesterday's low, really wide down below this zone. I'm not going to take it right into the open 2 minutes in. It's just a little bit aggressive. If we crack this low, if we crack this low, I could consider it. Could consider it right down into this zone here. Probably a little bit lower, like down into this area of low volume. Could consider really aggressive long, but let's zoom out. Let's talk markets here. Overall, higher time frame trend up, right? We know from the daily chart. This is YM on the 15-minute chart here on Project X. This is my Top One Futures free live account. That's what I got loaded up with you guys. Same account that I've been trading. But for those of you that are new, pretty choppy up here around all-time highs. We're really struggling. We're failing to get above these highs, and we have pulled a really aggressive dip, pushed right back up. We had some comments out of Trump, the Greenland deal. This looked like we were maybe going to break out and run, and we're getting a little bit of this Friday relief here, right? We popped to the upside yesterday off of the open, came back down. I got long right in here. Rode this back up, not nearly as far as I could have. And then we sold off into the afternoon really aggressively. Overnight session, pretty bearish, man. We opened up right at prior day's volume point of control, Thursday's volume point of control yesterday. Sold off into Asia and London, really right into London open here. And we're continuing this now right into the open. So thesis, right? Areas of high volume to areas of high volume. Where do I think we're going to potentially move next, right? If we're going to break to the downside and not just sweep this low, which I think we might, and I'm really tempted on taking this first long for a retest of VWAP. If we're just going to sweep this low, I could see us coming all the way back up here, back to yesterday's volume point of control, back to this area of high volume, very key level in the chart. Even if we're not going to push all the way to the upside, even if we are going to sell off, I think a move back up before coming down could be in store. If we're just going to break and move lower, first area of interest would be right down here into the zone, middle of the 49,000 even, major round psychological number, a level that we've watched come into play multiple times, right? Our simple support and resistance, supply and demand, order block, high volume node, whatever you want to call a line that you put in your chart. We come down below that. Next area that I'm going to be looking is down to like the 700s. Really, we're going to get aggressive with this move to the downside. Again, this is pretty zoomed out on the 15-minute chart. That would be aggressive. That could certainly happen easily, right down to the 49,000 evens. But let's wait to see here, because first and foremost, man, I'm tempted long here. I'm really tempted on an aggressive long. It would just be this mean reversion play right back up to the upside here. I'm not doing anything just yet, guys, but I want to frame this out. Fits my risk structure pretty nicely as well, as far as that 200 max 200 point stop that I'm going to allow myself to trade on one mini. You know, we could just dump today, though. We opened up to the downside. Let's see around the horn what these markets are doing. Oh, this was Eric's level from yesterday. So yeah, kind of similar. Not really that similar. Not really selling off as aggressively in pre-market. Yeah, NQ not selling off in pre-market, but clean retest of VWAP, and now coming to the downside here. Yeah, this is interesting. I don't know that I want this one, guys. I'm tempted on it. It's not bad. It's definitely an okay one. You can see where these levels are coming from, right? Potentially finding some buyers in here, some area that we reacted multiple times. If not, I think we're moving down here pretty quickly, at which point, you know, I'm just dead wrong. All the way down here would be a big move to the downside. I would really start to turn this thing to the downside here. Don't mind this. Yeah, let's see what happens if we go trade like the 50s. I'm not going to take it here. This is just a little bit too aggressive. Where is... Actually, let's do this. There we go. Trading at yesterday's low right now. We just tapped it. Just tapped it. Don't mean to be too twitchy with the chart, guys, but I'm just getting a feel. I also have it on a different monitor, so I'm curious to see what happens down here. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a little bit down here, but this would be the aggressive long right back to VWAP, the simple mean reversion play. I would have liked it if we did this even quicker into the open for this movement, but this isn't terrible, man. There is a chance that we just break and run the downside today, that we really sell off. You know, we wouldn't really be exceeding average daily ranges, average session ranges by doing that. But I think I might have to try this one, man. Ooh, we got a lot of orders here on Bookmap down at the 200 evens. That's interesting. Bookmap. Choppy back and forth on CVD. Looking at ES, holding CVD pretty strong here. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind to see us take these orders and then try it long. But we could just do the sweep of prior day low and bounce right back up. Again, guys, this is pretty aggressive. It's early, right? 9:38 a.m. Eastern here. We're only a couple minutes into the open. Oftentimes, we just get a lot of volatility before we really start to pick a direction. And getting involved early on can be dicey. I've attempted to keep myself a little bit more patient, but when we get setups like this, I don't really mind it. I think I'm gonna watch this level, this 200s here. Let's make it orange for Bookmap. This is yesterday's low, this green level, but we don't need that on here because we can actually see it. I'm gonna watch these 200s here, guys. Don't mean to lock in right off the bat, man, but might get a trade set up here. I'm watching a nice stack of orders at the 200s as we're getting a push down into my little discretionary level. Key area of interest for me. I'm curious to see if we rip right back towards VWAP on this one, or if we give this up and start to sell off really aggressively. This is definitely a decision-making point, right? Are we going to start to bounce here, or are we going to find sellers and move to the downside really, really quickly here? I wouldn't mind it from down here. I think it presents a pretty nice risk structure just back to VWAP for a long, but so far opening up to the downside here, guys. Yeah, I'm going to take it if we fill these orders. Actually going to look to front run it a little bit. I'm taking it right in here, guys. I'm taking it right in here. Let's get rid of this. I am long one from 49 to 22. I'm going to be dead wrong if we blast to the downside through these orders here and really sell off. But I like this as an initial trade. I don't have a continuation trade. I don't have a breakout of the first 10 minutes where I just hop in where price is moving. I like the first mean reversion trade on this one. Do we find buyers here? Do we hold some support after cracking yesterday's low? Or do we have to move really, really aggressively to the downside? I don't know, and I really don't care on any one individual trade. I just try to do the same repetitive stuff over and over and over again and turn a little bit of a profit, get involved in areas where I find pretty good risk structure. To the upside on this one, yeah, back to VWAP. I'd be cautious trying to hold through VWAP. I think even if we are going to sell off really aggressively, classic move out of these US indices is one of these bad boys. Off at the open without a retest of VWAP, come back up, pop stops right here, turn right back to down to the downside and run, right? So I'm looking for this leg right here. Or we find some buyers today and we run back through highs. I'm not going to be a hero on this trade for sure, but this is going to be interesting to see what happens at these 200s. Like I said, I front ran this a little bit. Oftentimes we don't come through. We start to hammer into it, and buyers are going to hold it up. But let's see. Let's see. Chat, how are we doing today, guys? How are we doing today? Let's see what we got going on, man. What's going on? Anyone else having volume issues? Can you not hear me, guys? Not to get too distracted here, but can you not hear me? Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Link to Discord, please. It's pinned to the top of the chat. Links are pinned to the top of the chat. Discord link is there, guys. It says 100% free trading community. Riffle the news. Ooh. Flash manufacturing PMI. I'm in ahead of news, guys. We do have red folder news at 10 a.m. Oh, excuse me, at 9:45 a.m. So I'm in ahead of news. Really, honestly, not paying attention to that one. I'd be lying if I said I have it up on my screen. Obviously, I looked this morning, but too hyper focused on the level I have on my chart. This could be dicey. We got about 60 seconds to red folder news. I'm not too worried about flash manufacturing. You know, that's not an NFP. That's not a FOMC. It's not a CPI. It is high impact news, so you know there's reason for concern there. But I'm okay with this one. I'm gonna run this bad boy long. One thing I will do though is just in case we wick up here really, really aggressively and turn back down to the downside, I am going to run a fixed take profit. Just in case we wake up here. I don't know that it would hold all the way to this level, but just in case we get a quick crack and a violent move, I'd be happy to be out, you know, at this level. Let's say right in here, right into this price action market structure. If we cracked right back up to VWAP, I would probably take it off ahead of this. Red folder news, oftentimes, even if it is something a little bit lighter or potentially lighter like this, you never really know. It can get really violent, so I don't know that I would want to hold if we crack to the upside really aggressively. So that would be my move to the outside. If we sell off really aggressively, I'm in it. I'm in it now. So let's see what we get here. But good call, chat. Was not talking about that. We can hear you. It's quiet, but there your voice. Normal. You have the Discord link on the main site. It's pinned to the chat. Pinned to the top of the chat. It says all links, and then there's a 100% free trading Discord. That should work. Don't need to send me an email. Sounds okay. Cool. Absolutely love out loud thinking, man. Learning so much from it. Yeah, that's what I try to do here, guys. Just give you my thoughts, give you the 2 cents, right? Give you the out loud. Try to articulate what I'm thinking. Hey Zach, when you draw the white zones, how many days will you pull in the visible range volume pull for all? I think I'm pulling 2 fuel days and marking up my zones. Pam, that's a good question. We're talking about the discretionary levels here. I'll go over that today. Make sure that I come back to this, but I want to go over 2 things today because we had a great conversation yesterday, and we started to have another really good conversation in Discord. But I want to go over 2 things today. One, the use of my indicators on this chart, the use of tools that I have on this chart, the use of Bookmap, right? What I really do with that stuff, and what I don't do with it, and what it means to me as a trader, right? And then 2, I'm happy to go over marking discretionary levels because that's part of it. Happy to go over marking these discretionary zones, these areas of interest, right? Support and resistance, supply and demand, order block, you know, whatever we want to talk about, whatever we want to call these things. But a discretionary horizontal area of interest. Man, we are not getting the buyers that I want to see out of this. Really not getting the buyers that I want to see out of this zone. I would love to see this thing really aggressively pop here. We're not getting that just yet. I'm curious to see what happens if we fill these 200s. We could give this up and really aggressively start to break to the downside here, guys. So I'm cautious on this one. You know, again, aggressive. I don't have a continuation trade on a breakout of the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the open. That's just not how I trade. ES holding pretty strong here. I don't love to see what we're doing on YM, but I'm gonna hold on to this one. Too early really for me to manage this. I'm allowing myself more discretion, like I've talked about. Continually reviewing, improving, right? One thing that I've noticed this year is I've adapted to my data a little bit too strongly. I became a little bit too mechanical, a little bit too systematic. Held on to some things too long, didn't hold on to things long enough. So I'm going to allow myself a little bit more discretion. I made a video on it, but right now it's a little too early. So we're going to hang out. But yes, I will go over the tools that I have on my chart along with Bookmap. What I use them for, what I don't use them for. And I think, you know, what I think is more important than anything else is what I want to get to today as far as a technical standpoint. And then we can go over how we're marking discretionary levels. And as you guys know, like I mark these up honestly more so for you guys. And part of my deal this year, coming into this year, was I wanted to mark more zones, right? I know where I'm looking based on looking left with market structure price action, right? I don't need the zone anymore. You probably will get to a point like that. You know, you're taking a look at prior days high and low. You're looking at market structure price action, looking at visible range volume profile, maybe your volume profile tools over here, maybe none of it, like I was going to talk about today. But you know from just looking left at price action market structure, you know, where your area of interest is. The zone itself is just just an eyeball to show where it is on the chart. That's really all it is. Man, buyers. Here we go, coming into these orders at the 200s. I don't like how we're not finding buyers off of this. There's really not a lot of management outside of me clipping the trade that I've got into really quickly into the open. I'm not gonna allow myself that much discretion. At least yet. I'm gonna have to sit in this one for a little bit longer, see if we pull another dip down here. If we really fail to find buyers here as we continue, maybe I get some management rolling, but so far I don't love the reaction we've gotten. But we're fixing to find out, right? Don't really know what's gonna happen on the next one next individual trade. Try to apply some consistency here and structure my trades similarly. Let them play out. Chat. Yeah, we got through news. Cool. Squeezing in around 10 days and then picking the high volume areas, but then weeding out the areas that don't really look like swing points resistance. That's the idea. Pam. But I want to go over it. I want to go over it a little bit cleaner than that. And I will once I get through this trade a little bit. I don't want to jack up the entire chart completely. At least just yet. At least just yet, man. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see what we get today. Appreciate you guys hopping on, man. It's been a fun week. Been a decently good week. I'm back to green on the week after an L and 2 green days. 1 red day, 2 green days. Some really fun sessions. Got to trade with MLT Eric. Got to trade with Trader Drysdale this week. We got more guests coming on next week. I will be on another Traders live stream on Monday. And then I'll have people on coming into Tuesday and Thursday. More new live streams, more new traders coming on. I'm excited to be doing this year. It's really cool to have more perspectives on the show. More people trading, sharing their journey, sharing how they trade. Oftentimes it's very different than how I trade, right? The tools I use, the approach to the market. And I like that. I really like that. So it's awesome to get. Also just a mix of, experience of traders, but a lot of them really high caliber, right? Eric has been in the markets for damn near all his life. He told that story yesterday of opening up his first account really under his dad's name and the money that he saved, and at like 15 years old, started investing and learning the markets. So really cool to see that type of stuff. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated in Discord for sure. What's up, guys? Thanks. Hello, brother. What's up? What's going on? Yeah, guys, all links are pinned to the top of the chat, but if you want into the 100% free trading Discord, I'll throw you the link here as well again. Colby Clark, what's up on Kick? Slothfather, what's up? Looking for longs at or below 49.142. That'll be main point of control and weekly midpoint. Yeah, we might get that, man. We might get that. I could be a little bit too aggressive on this one, but I like it down below prior day low, right? I got a zone here. I got a level here. Again, VWAP has moved down considerably as we've traded. Some buyers trying to step in here. As we've traded lower. Like I said, I'm gonna manage this with discretion. I threw this fixed take profit on here as we were coming into news. I really don't need that anymore. Those of you that watch me know that I don't trade with fixed take profits. I don't like to do that. It doesn't really help me. I find it just just hurts me in the long run. Maybe it's just mindset and perspective, but it doesn't really help me. Unless I'm stepping away or we're coming into a really volatile event, then it usually helps. But man, yeah, we've drugged this VWAP down, aggressively here. Kind of eating into what I would like to see for a risk to reward standpoint. Still like this area of consolidation up here, right? Back up towards this zone, but I do think there's a chance that we just go and crack this this opening range high and come right back down. So we're gonna see. Could look to manage if we come right up into this high here, right above this high. But we're gonna have to wait and see if we can get that. We shall see. We shall see, chat. Thanks. Yeah, appreciate you guys hopping on as always. Appreciate you guys hopping on. But yeah, stay tuned if you want the... First off, you want the free giveaway because you know we're running giveaways. I used to say almost every day. I'm going to have to start saying every day because we're running them every damn day. But we're going to be giving out an instant funded account. Surprise. But I will be going over my thoughts on indicators, the tools that I use. I think it's important to do. As someone that preaches simplicity, trading a stupidly simple system, I think what I display from the outside and just on my chart, maybe that could sound contradictory. Maybe that could sound like, hey, you have a lot of indicators, you have order flow, you have all this crazy stuff. That's not simple. That's not basic. And I want to talk about how I use them and then the answer to some of the questions that like Eric was asking yesterday and what we were talking about yesterday, which was, if you had to get rid of something first, what would you get rid of? And I trailed that into like, if I got rid of everything, how do I feel I would do? And had somebody comment on that, and I want to elaborate on that further because I think it's an important thing to think about. It was a really big turning point in my trading to strip my charts completely naked, come off of indicators, and I find myself coming back to mark up the charts as a way of trying to display a little bit of clarity in what the hell I'm doing, how I find a little bit of consistency, applying my discretion. But I think it's going to be a good conversation. And by conversation, I mean a yap fest because I'm the only one on here. But it lines up with what Pam asked today, which is how are you drawing these zones? Right? How are you drawing these discretionary levels? Which over the last few weeks since I've been marking up my chart more with these discretionary levels have really come into play super cleanly. These, if you just looked at trading directly from area of interest to area of interest, how that would have paid over the last couple days, couple weeks, really nicely. Like this is yesterday. These are not new zones. These have been on the chart, right? These have been on the chart, guys. Maybe some adjustments, but you can go back and watch the live streams. These would have worked really nicely. Just straight off of them, right? And then maybe a little bit of market context to say, hey, I think we're going up based on trend. I think we're going down based on trend. But we got some buyers stepping in off these lows. What can we do here, man? What can we do? Let's go around the horn. What do we got going on? Yeah, man. ES put a base in here. Failed to get down below. NQ looking pretty strong. I got some alerts that I had some positions in the red today, so I was honestly not expecting this out of the other two. I just must be picking the wrong stuff. No, Mag 7 looks pretty green. Everybody looks pretty green. Amazon, Meta, Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla looking green. All right, Apple down 1%. We'll have to see. Again, not that I trade correlation, not that I trade fundamentals, not that that's my my MO, but obviously, like Eric said, I don't think I've ever seen anybody that mostly trades YM. It's pretty much the black sheep, so I do recognize that. Try to go around these markets a little bit more. Yeah, this is interesting on NQ, man. Same thing that I've seen this chart. Like I'm not the chart pattern guy, but I've seen a lot of people mark this and say, hey, watch out, man, because we got a triangle going. We're really tightening up here. I've seen this drawn a lot, and I think there's some validity to that, right? I do think there's some validity to that, right? We're starting to contract here. We're starting to fail to get above highs, fail to get below lows, right? So we could be setting up for something a little bit larger coming up here in NQ. ES looking a little bit stronger, right? You know, continuing to test these highs. We broke above right in here, right? YM looked the strongest out of the bunch on the daily chart. I say looked because this is starting to get a little bit dicey here, right? Failing to get back above, starting to really put some daily candle highs in here. This is turning into a really key area of resistance, right? The price just has not been able to push above. So I am interested to see what happens if we come back up here to challenge it. I think even if we were going to move aggressively lower at a certain point, the classic move is to do what, right? Pick up liquidity, right? It's probably a ton up here. Go and pop that, and then, you know, turn back to the downside. I've saw a couple people say, hey, this was the move to the downside before we blast off. I've heard a couple say this was the fake out move to the upside. We're getting ready to sell off really aggressively. This was the indication that we're going to move lower. You can frame this stuff however you want, right? There's always going to be a subjective way to frame it. And I think, you know, if you guess enough from a higher time frame, you're eventually going to be right. I don't like to do that as much as I just look at market structure. I just look objectively at price action. I look at, you know, this strong market that we've been in here. And then what starts to happen, right, from a daily perspective, and then drop down to the 15-minute. This is pretty choppy up here, right? This was really choppy before we did this and then came back up. Man, if we swept these highs like yesterday, if we cracked the highs and then pulled this, I don't know that I'd be long today. I really don't. That would be a lot dicier of a move. No, we gotta go on this, guys. We gotta move to the upside here. I'm getting ready to manage this. We gotta go to the upside and push this thing higher, or I don't know that I want to hold on to this. If we start to roll back over here and head down towards the lows after just pulling back close to VWAP multiple times, I don't know that I want to hold on to this. So, like I've talked about, I'm really not a fan of stop loss to break even. I just don't love it. It doesn't work well in my data overall. But again, applying some more discretion within my trading here. If we can't, you know, get this thing moving to the upside and we have to sell off again, sure, we could just be testing this level, but that's not really the thesis. The thesis is a mean reversion play, like we're getting right now. And for that to play out, you know, we really do have to move to the upside. So I think I'm going to pull the move that I really don't like that much. I really don't like that much, but I'm going to do it today. And reason why is, man, if we sell off here again, if we can't push this thing higher, at least above this 930 high, right? Coming back up to test VWAP like we are right now. We come back to trade down towards the 200s. I don't know, man. I might like the short. I think at that point, if we're down around the lows again, you know, maybe we just got to chop here for a while before taking off. But I would be considering the shorts at that point, man, if we start to rip lower here. 10 o'clock, you know, this is the mean reversion play. Not enough for me to grab 500 bucks on it. You know, a little bit more than that. 150, you know, plus points, I would consider it. Like I said, up above this level. But I'm going stop loss to break even. Stops at 49,225. That's going to be my play, guys. Oh, music's loud. Okay. So you guys were trying to, somebody was trying to tell me something. Let's see. Is that better? Is that a little bit better? Chatty McChat chat. Lowered the music a little bit. Let me know if that's enough. I definitely don't need dubstep blasting everybody's ears out. Let me know if that's enough. Would you add if price moves into the next volume level? Mystic Rick, I would love to add to my winning trades, to be completely honest. It's not my MO all of the time, but I would love to have the option to add to my winning trades. Up until this point, I am trading the max contract size on this Top 1 Futures pre-live account. I'm limited to max 1 mini. I've reached out to them, and their answer was, until you get moved up to just a full live account, we don't adjust risk structure at all. So it sounds like it is kind of a preset limit there on the pre-live account. I feel that they've really halted moving anybody, because I do feel I've traded pretty damn well, and maybe they would have moved me up already. But I really feel they've halted moving anybody to live accounts from pre-live accounts until they get this this deal done with Project X and Tradeovate, because it will be a Tradeovate account. So for those reasons, I'm still in a pre-live account, or they just have not wanted to move me up. But I'd like to be able to trade 2-3 minis. I think that would be pretty solid. Dang, man, coming back down on this. Yes, back to the open. Looks like I'm going to be taking a stop here, guys. If we continue lower, looks like I'm going to be getting the stop at break even. But yeah, I do like adding to trades, adding to winning positions. It was a key part of my trading. You know, it's not exactly how I trade on YM, but man, if you're comfortable taking a lot of stop outs for break even, if you're comfortable taking a lot of small stop outs because you add in and you control risk, if you want to know how to have those huge home run days, those massively outsized days that you see guys post about, that's how, right? They're going to have a lot of break-even days. They're going to have a lot of losing days. And then not only are they going to catch a trade that they hold for a long time, they're going to add in multiple times, like oftentimes to the max contract size, while dragging stop losses down. And really, that's going to amplify the winners. I do think it can be a little bit of a trade-off, right? Because you are going to have those days where if you didn't add in and you didn't move your stop loss, you probably just would have had that smaller trade play out. But like everything, it's a give and take. But there's certainly days in the market where I have a lot of conviction. I would like to size into trades heavier. I think that's a strong suit. I've heard that's overstated by all of the best traders. You know, once you get profitable, right? Once you get a system that works, once you get something that has provided some expected value for you, positive expected value, how you really start to move to the next level of amplifying your wins is identifying, right, the trades that you feel are either present a better risk structure, a higher risk to reward, a higher probability of playing out, you know, whatever it is, and size into those, size heavier, swing the bat. And that comes down to being dynamic with risk management, right? A lot of traders are against that. They say same risk every single trade, every single time, you know, never change, always, you know, position size and run a stop loss that's, you know, fixed. And I think for beginners earlier on, right, you have no business being dynamic before you're even consistent. But once you get some consistency, once you start to really identify your read of the market, there's times, and they come, you know, frequently enough, where it's a really good opportunity. Like you really are getting that intuition, that discretion, that subjective read where you're like, you know, I'm comfortable risking and potentially losing more on this trade because of XYZ. And, you know, I would like the ability to do that. So outside of just adding into winners alone, I'd like to be able to take on, you know, a little bit more risk on certain plays, certain setups. Same way where I say, hey, you know what? This is a good opportunity, but maybe not as good. I want to size down. I want to take some risk off, right? We're trading through the holidays. You know, I'm going to run a $500 stop loss, a $300 stop loss, right? Still want to have some opportunity for gain there. But again, double-edged sword. Always a double-edged sword with that. You never really know which trade is going to be a winner or a loser, right? So that's kind of the thoughts behind that. Context, discretion, all of that stuff matters. And for beginners starting out, I'll go back and like what I wish I did, you know, better. Structure your risk very, very consistently, right? You know, stick to your set risk per trade, set risk per day. You should always have a set risk per day, even if you're adding in or getting more aggressive, right? And the max risk that you want to take on that account. That shouldn't change. But then once you get some consistency, you'll notice you have the desire, right? And if you have the skill set and the experience to be dynamic, discretionary with your risk per trade, per individual setup, that can be a powerful move, right? A lot of traders that I watch, that's how they are not only profitable, that's how they have these really big returns. It's how they have these really big outsized returns. It's, that they are identifying key opportunities that don't come around every single day, but when they do, they size into those trades, right? Sometimes doesn't work, ends up as a big L, but that's how they get those really big outsized days, right? It's not that they're taking on that amount of risk every single day. When it comes around, they push it, they press it, right? They press their winning trades. So, also holding trades longer, right? Just generally holding your winning trades longer. Like there's going to be certain times where first off, I'm discretionary with closes as a whole. There's going to be certain times where, I'm going to look to clip the trade, like yesterday, right? Take my profit and go. There's going to be certain times where I look to hold it a little bit longer. You hope that you're good enough to be able to do that, but discretion and a balance. It's definitely a balance. Watch this thing pop back up to VWAP. Unless we get buyers to step in and rip this thing higher, this is going to look like a stop at break even. Like I said, guys, I'm not comfortable with that. I just am not. Maybe we come back down here, we dance around, and it's going to be filed under the never go stop loss to break even. But I'm not comfortable on this one if we have to come back through. I really am not. The thesis is this. We bounce here, right? We did this. We came back down. I held through. Okay, bounce here, right? Let's go. Here's the take profit area. If we don't do that, we come up again, and then we come back down, right? I'm not liking this as much. And, just today, especially given this context, right? Maybe on another day I'm holding this, but here's the discretion coming in. Given this type of context, given the daily candle that I'm looking at here, this is a mean reversion play back up to this area early into the open. If we can't do that, I don't want to be in it. At least for now, right? At least for now. Again, double-edged sword, right? You can stop yourself out on a good trade before it moves up. You could take a full loss down here, not stopping yourself out when maybe you could have stopped yourself out for break even, been flat, and then come 11, 12 o'clock in the day, you have another opportunity. You have all of the risk to take on instead of taking your full L first. It just comes down to your preference and what your data shows. For me, data shows for the most part not going stop loss to break even is helpful, but I'm applying some discretion here. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Perfect volume mix. Thank you. There you go. Nice. Nice. Perfect. ES moving good. ES moving good. What is ES doing? Ooh, ES looking like it tried to make a move to the upside here. Yeah, we definitely have some different movement. We're gonna figure out who's leading who, right? This is kind of what Eric yesterday was talking about and kind of how he trades. Who's leading who? Is ES and NQ leading YM, as in they're pushing the upside, YM is diverging to the downside, and YM is going to turn around at a dime and follow these really aggressively? Or is YM leading these, right? And the correlation is going to be that these turn around and continue to the downside really, really aggressively, as YM just breaks the low and sells off. This is going to be an interesting one to watch. I don't know that I love this for ES. Coming back up, sweeping this high, and then rejecting pretty nicely here. I don't know that I love that for ES. That's looking a little bit dangerous. Kind of like what we're seeing right now. And on YM, which it looks like it's going to give me a stop for break even. NQ as well, man. Are we going to break and run these highs, right? This is kind of a dangerous spot up here. Definitely not yet. Not yet, Chatty McChat chat. There we go. Oh, perfect. Just in time. Stop for break even. Stop for break even. So we got a little bit of a pop up to the upside. You know, here was the initial setup. Just so you guys know. Here was the initial setup, right? You know, stop loss down here. Way out here. What did I say? Into the 22s. So I must have had an entry somewhere in here where we just got stopped. You know, is that enough? Showed me 121 points. It'd be nice to grab 500 bucks really quickly, but, you know, not really enough for me. I was looking for a bare minimum up here, preferably up here. But we'll see how that one plays out, right? Maybe we just have to come down, dip down, stop me out, test this zone one more time, and then blast off. That'll be a little bit frustrating to watch, but I'm applying my discretion on this one, guys. I don't want to hold all the way back down through. This didn't give me the move that I wanted, which was this, right? Very simply. Right back up here. Right back up here, I'd be out. We didn't get that. We came right down here, put a lower high in, and then came aggressively back down. 10-15, maybe we bounce here really, really beautifully. We're going to see if it's a frustrating stop that is a file under the don't move stop loss to break even. But that's going to be my setup so far on YM. That's going to be my play on YM so far. But let's talk zones. Let's talk zones. Let's talk tools on my chart. Let's talk things that I use for my trading, right? So, actually, you know what? Give me a second, guys. I'm going to step outside for a second. Give me a second. I'm going to come back to this before I start this conversation. Y'all let me know in chat if you have any questions. And I'm going to go into a long rant on my chart setup, and answer a question that Pam had. So, I will be right back, guys. Right back. All right, chat. Let's go. How's everybody doing? Staying warm? It's negative 25 degrees by me. Dang. Yeah, not by me. I'm in South Florida, so we're right down here. But I did see a big winter storm is allegedly headed towards everybody, and I got family in the Northeast, so that's looking a little bit dicey for them. Looking slow for them, as the kids say. I wish you guys safety if you are in an area where you're gonna be hit by that big storm. Hang tight, guys. I just gotta check one more thing. Sorry to do it to you. 95 degrees difference when I go outside. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Be safe, guys. Those are always crazy. Definitely be safe. Sorry, guys. I'm just checking a chart here. Interesting. I'll leave it be for now. All right, let's talk, chat. Let's talk. Let's talk chart setup. As we start to get a bounce out of this damn zone. As we start to get a bounce out of this zone. Oh, man. This is going to do it to me today. I feel it. Yeah, I want to talk. I want to talk my chart setup, guys, but I'm stuck staring at this. Stuck staring at this one. NQ pushing the upside, going to try the highs. YM's trying to find buyers down here. ES above VWAP testing. Yeah, I've made my bed. I gotta sleep in it now, guys. I got a feeling that this is gonna run. Got a feeling this is gonna run. Not as we came back down, right? Which is why I'm out at break even. I'm not a fan of hopping right back into the trade, but I got a feeling that this is gonna go. Started to build a base here. We got accumulated. We got a nice growing cumulative volume delta. Started to get the volume back up to the upside. I got a feeling this is gonna go, and I'm gonna have a frustrating one. Yeah, you know what? Let me talk about that, man. It's been a frustrating start to this year. Super frustrating start to this year, and majority for me has just been execution. I've just had a really good read of the market. Really good read of the market, good entries, and really poor trade management like I'm seeing today. Throughout a lot of this chop as we started the year, down in here on the way back up, just really left a lot to be desired here, and I think I'm going to see that again right now. As I stop myself at break even, protecting risk, right? On another day where we sell off, I look like a genius. Today, I think I'm going to watch the really frustrating one as we come right back up out of that zone. Discretion, for the most part, helping me, right? Helping me in the long term. And I've made a video reviewing about where I tried to get a little bit more mechanical, a little bit more consistent with my trade management by never going stop loss to break even, by really never taking the trade off before a take profit area is hit, and have quickly backed off of that because I've generated some pretty ugly results to start this year out. Of course, as you start to bounce back, allow for some more freedom, right? Kind of come back on that. What do I get? Stops at break even that run into profit, trades that continue to move like yesterday all the way through a take profit level. It's that never-ending balance, man, of finding it. And man, I gotta say, the beginning of this year, last couple weeks, we're coming into, today's the 23rd. Really frustrating, really an underperformance on execution. I've had, again, what I feel is a really good read of the market, and that's what makes it more frustrating, because you're just not able to translate that into profit. You're translating it into losses or break evens, and that's what I'm going to see here again today. with a stop at break even, and then likely a trade that goes and runs 200, 250 points in my direction. This is what live trading looks like, guys. This is what my trading looks like for you. I'm happy to show you it live. It's definitely frustrating to not be able to capitalize the way that I would like sometimes. Again, we're not out just yet, but we get back above the 400s, right? The 380s, 400s. That would be a full take profit for me on a trade that I stopped myself out to break even on. So we'll see. All that I can do, and like, how do you improve from that, right? So you share that piece of info. Now I ask myself the question, how do you improve from that? Review your data, try to do a little bit more of what's working, a little bit less of what's not, while finding a balance through very, very, very random and varying market conditions on the short term. And there's times where I find that balance really cleanly, really, really cleanly. And through trade management, I have a really, really good execution, right? And there's times like at the beginning of this year where I shift a little bit too much, maybe from a little bit too much discretion to a little bit too mechanical. And, you know, being able to watch that play out over a large sample size is important. But I'm definitely feeling it this year, man. Definitely feeling it this year. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't a little bit frustrated with my performance in this account. There's been just opportunity after opportunity to put profit in, and using my tools, my results, the trades that I'm taking, and my trade management has just left a lot to be desired. So anyway, continue to improve, right? Review what I'm doing, look back, you know, have that frustrating review session. I just made a video about one, and improve. But it comes down to for me, you know, if I had to say like what this comes down to, it's the balance of discretion, not to reuse that word, but applying your discretion, allowing flexibility within trade management, within entries, and getting too consistent, too inflexible. It's certainly challenging as a discretionary trader who applies a lot of it, because you won't always be right, and there can be times like this over the last couple weeks where it feels like you're never right. Like you have it all down, you have it set, and if you just did the opposite on trade management, you probably would have came out greener. But that's part of it, man. It's part of it. So we'll see. We'll see what this trade's got for us. Anyway, let's go to answer Pam's question. How am I drawing some of these discretionary levels? And more importantly, outside of that, the tools that I have in my chart, right? We started to talk yesterday, me and MLT Eric, about the tools that we use. And first and foremost, for me as a trader, I like to think of myself trading an extremely simple discretionary approach, right? These tools that I have in my chart, these indicators that I have in my chart, these are not giving me signals. These are not, if something happens, I do this. And I'm not even really using them in a way that is 100% necessary, meaning that I wouldn't be able to trade without them. I find having volume tools on my chart adds a little bit of confluence, context, or is just convenient, not to use all C words. I could do, and I've tested myself to try to do the same thing with no indicators at all, right? Like if I had to remove volume, visible range volume profile, and get rid of example, multiple of these visible range volume profiles, right? Would I be able to find my discretionary levels the same, right? Would I be able to trade in a way that is consistent with how I'm trading now? And the answer that I find is yes. Would it require a little bit more effort every morning? Probably, right? But would I have my levels and zones, which I've tested myself to do, in almost the exact same place? Yeah, I would. It begs the question, why do you have them on in the first place? Convenience, right? The ability to just be able to zoom out and look at visible range volume profile, to identify high volume nodes that are being marked from price action and market structure, right? To look left and say, okay, look at how many volume points of controls we have here. Would I know that without having this on my chart? Sure, right? You know, where do I think the volume point of control is for this day? Where do I think the high volume node is for this day? Up here, right? You know, where do I think all the volume traded on this day is? Probably right here, right? Maybe you get something that's a little bit harder to identify, like this one over here, this one over here. But I think it's really important to note that and say, you know, you don't need volume profile. You don't need VWAP, for me at least, to trade in a way that I trade. Very simple price action market structure. You know, I know where yesterday's high and low is, right? From looking at the chart. I have a rough idea where VWAP is going to be, right? Probably above these highs as we're blasting to the downside. I have a rough idea when I zoom out, right? Where the high volume levels are going to be. Looking at this price action market structure. Right in here, right? Right in here where my zones are marked. Right in the middle ground of this where we've traded it multiple times, right? Maybe around key areas that we've traded through multiple times and put a lot of price action market structure. With order flow here over the left-hand side, right? We talked a lot about that yesterday. I find bookmap helpful. I do find bookmap helpful. Is it 100% necessary in my trading? Would I be able to generate, I think, really similar results without it? Yes, I do. But I don't find that having bookmap and a couple of volume profiles on my chart takes away. Let me get these volume profiles back up. I'm sorry to go crazy here. Before I delete it, where are they? Go back. There we go. Sorry for going crazy with that. I don't find that that having this on my chart takes me away from focusing on what matters most, which is price action market structure. And I don't find that these give me too many conflicting signals where, you know, I'm doing something wrong because of the tools that I'm using on my chart, right? That's the question you have to ask yourself. You know, number one, are the tools that you have on your chart helpful to you? Are they giving you something that's helping you out in your trading, even if that's convenience? And then question number two is, are the things on your chart overlaying price and, you know, market structure so much so that they are taking away? Are they giving you conflicting information? Are they giving you conflicting signals? Is it too much information to process? And if the answer is yes, and it has been there for me for, you know, a lot of different times, if the answer is yes at any point, take that off your chart. You should really consider taking that completely off your chart. For me, honestly, the less I have on my charts, the less I have to pay attention to, the better I do. The simpler my trading becomes, and the better results that I have. So I wanted to really like lean into that today. Indicators, in my humble opinion, are not the answer. Can you use, you know, some of them really heavily? Can they provide a really good way to structure risk, an important level or a key, you know, area with strong objective statistics around it? Sure, absolutely. Do they have any predictive power, like any at all? In my humble opinion, no, none of them do. Literally nothing that we put on the chart will have some strong predictive power over nearly just a coin flip. I think some of them get a little bit past the 50% mark, you know, over large sample sizes, but even that is so damn random on the short term. I think they're very, very, very helpful for structuring risk, which is a huge part of where the edge comes in, right? Being able to get in at key decision-making points in the market. But as far as which way we're gonna go from that key decision-making point, it's really difficult to say. This indicator gives me a direction where one thing happens over another far more often than not, right? You know, that's just my humble, biased opinion, right, as a trader. So that's my thoughts there. But now, to identify key areas of interest, right? How am I drawing these zones? How am I marking these up? You know, me and Eric had nearly the same level. He had 749, 753 or 52 yesterday. It was dead set in the middle of my zone, right? That's common for other traders to have nearly identical levels. Why? We're using very, very, very similar approaches to marking these levels. Outside of just the visible range volume profile, right? You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. It's gonna take me so damn long, guys. I'm sorry. I don't want to completely destroy my chart. You know what? We could do it on like MYM. All right. Okay. So Pam, we were talking about, you know, how we're drawing zones off of volume profile, right? If I was gonna draw zones off of volume profile, completely, you know, not looking at price at all, where would I draw the zones off of this, right? I'd zoom out like you were asking how many days, I'd zoom out on the 15 minute. If I was going to use volume profile, I'd zoom out on the 15 minute to capture quite a bit of days, right? I'd say like probably the last 10 to 15 trading days on the 15 minute gives you some really key areas of interest, right? You know, that's pretty zoomed out. Maybe you use the 1 hour or the 4 hour, and you're not as zoomed out as far as of what the price action looks like. But I like to grab a pretty big chunk of market structure and time to identify my key areas of interest, right? I really like to zoom out on a higher time frame in order to do this. Now, if I was gonna mark them solely off of the volume profile, right? Let's just draw a line at the high volume nodes, right? That would be one, right? There's a high volume node. There's a high volume node. If I had to be dead set in the middle, there's a high volume node. There's a high volume node, and down here, right? We'd be coming into another one. Where would be the bottom of this, volume? Down here for visible range volume profile, right? Great. Now we say, okay, well, what if Zach, you're just saying that this is kind of convenience, it's just kind of extra. You kind of see the same thing from price action market structure. Let's get rid of this, right? Let's get rid of this. Where would I mark key areas of interest? Where would I mark support and resistance? Just off of price action market structure. In the same damn areas, guys, right? Really, nearly in the same damn areas, right? Taking a look up here, off of, if you said, what's a key area of interest looking at highs that we've put in and we've had big reactions from, right? Not using volume profiles at all, or VWAP or volume, right? Right there, just roughly, right into the top end of this. If I was gonna drill down, maybe I'd look a little bit closer, highs and in the middle of this, capturing these highs here, capturing these highs here, capturing these highs here, and capturing, before we did this, maybe I was marking that from back here, right in here. We can do this and then compare against my YM chart, right? If I was gonna have a zone, next zone to the downside, what's the next area of interest? I'll do it super quick. Right here, right? Why? High that was put in before a reaction. We blasted through it here, but we found some support here before breaking through. We consolidated here, we consolidated here, consolidated here, consolidated here, right? Not as key of an area of interest by way of support and resistance, but definitely a key spot. Right, look at how this has come into play over and over and over and over again, right? If I was gonna mark a zone below that, why? Right, where we're trading right now, where I traded off of today. Key area of interest, right? Prices continue to return to this. Tops and bottoms, highs and lows, right? Market structure, price action. Whatever you want to call, this type of a movement in the market, right? Key areas where price has had impulsive movements above and below. This is just simply marking support and resistance. Down below, right? What would I be looking at? This is as zoomed out as I can get on the 15-minute chart. So just to make this easy, I can't zoom out any further. What would I be looking at? Right here. Right in here. Pretty obvious spot, right? Again, key area of interest before an impulsive move. We got close in here, right? Which is why I like to use zones instead of lines. I'm just using lines to be easy, right? All of these could be a zone with that line right in between. And in fact, I like to use a zone over a level because it gives me a little bit more freedom and flexibility, right? But for this, we're using bright ass yellow lines. And if I was gonna mark another zone down below this, where would I be marking? This one gets a little bit trickier. I think you could make a case to say it should go here. And you could probably make a case to say it should go down here. Maybe you just have one really wide zone on something like this, right? Now, how does this line up, right? How does this line up with the levels that I have on YM? Really damn close, guys. Really, really, really damn close. So, what am I trying to demonstrate here? Pam, who's taking this into account. Zoom out, in my humble opinion, how I like to mark my support and resistance levels. Zoom out on the 15-minute chart. Zoom a little bit out on the 1-hour chart because this is still the same information. Maybe the daily is probably a little bit too zoomed out, but I think it could be good to take a look at the daily and say, hey, am I near daily highs and lows, closures, and wicks? You could really mark these from any time frame that you want, but more zoomed out than the 1 minute, right? Like, I don't think I'm gonna have a really good feel for higher time frame key areas of interest if I'm on the 1 minute, right? I'm probably going to say, okay, well, you know, this looks like a support zone maybe, and I don't know, we're back and forth too much, and maybe this is a key area, right? You know, I don't like it that zoomed in. Maybe you're trading really aggressively intraday and you like it's more zoomed in that way. But zoom out, and if you're not going to use volume profile, which I don't think that you need to do, look for key areas of interest, right? Look for key areas of interest based on price action market structure. You want to use volume profile as a really easy way to get this done? Take a look at where the levels line up, right? Boom. High volume node, top end of the high volume node, right? I'm a little bit higher. What did I say was the level from yesterday? 750. Yeah, less than 10 points lower, right? 73 or whatever it was. You know, right there, high volume node here. Look into the downside. This is coming outside of volume, right? So this is starting to come outside of volume. Maybe I don't take into account today. Yeah, this is a little bit more of a low volume node, right? Coming outside of volume. But as we get lower here, right? As we start to take this into consideration, look at the 15-minute. High volume area, right? Zone. What did I say? This could probably be the top end. This could probably be the bottom end. If you didn't mark that, what's the dead center of it? Area of high volume. So, you know, these are kind of overlapping. Volume profiles are overlapping. So, you know, you don't need them, and maybe in the future, honestly, I debated it after my conversation yesterday. Maybe in the future, I just go raw chart. I just go, you know, no volume profiles at all, and I trade that way. Volume down here on the bottom, honestly, for the U.S. indices, I really don't look at it that much. But I hope that helps. I would say, before you use volume profile to mark anything up, here's what I would practice. I'd go back and back test. I'd throw TradingView in replay mode, right? I'd come over here, right? Maybe over here. And I would say, okay, if I was trading from today on, from November 16th, right? Where would I mark my zones? Right? Where would I mark my key areas of interest? Where would I mark my discretionary levels, right? Where do I think is a good support zone and a good resistance zone? Maybe you are using volume profile and you do the same damn thing. You say, well, I want to use volume profile. I know I like volume profile. You know, Zach uses it. I seem to like it, and I use it in the same way consistently. Do the same thing, and then back test it. Right? You know, use different amounts of time, mark up your zones, and then play the chart forward and see how those zones came into play. Were they in good areas? Did price seem to find support or resistance? Did they come into play? You know, if not, change it up a little bit. Maybe use a little bit more information. You know, go out to the 1 hour and mark it off of, you know, 1 hour, you know, candle wicks and closures. Go out to the 4 hour, right? Maybe zoom in a little bit. Maybe you got too much information. And back test it, and then find it for yourself. Build confidence around it for yourself doing that. That's what I would recommend. You know, anybody that's trying to identify key areas of interest on the chart should do. I would really recommend that. And then over time, right? Over time, you get better at it. You just naturally get better at it. You find that you're able to mark areas of interest on the chart with discretion a whole lot better than you were earlier on in your trading, right? And then also, the last piece to remember, at least for me, the way that I use areas of interest, zones, right? If it's not an objective level, if it's not a 100% objective level, like prior day high and low, it's not out for debate, right? This is prior day high and low. It's the exact same on my chart as it is on your chart. So if you wanted to mark that, that's where the high would go, that's where the low would go. If it's not going to be a 100% objective level based off of market generated information like this, you should probably use a zone, and you should probably widen out a little bit and recognize that it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be exact, right? Like, this level came into play yesterday, right? But was it exact? Did I have a line right here? No. And even if I did, that would have hit right here perfectly, but I wouldn't have hit here perfectly, right? Same to the downside. You know, I got long right from the middle of this zone, but was that a perfect level? You could argue that we had a lot of wicks down here, but no, it's not perfect. These are areas, hence the word zone, right? You know, encompassing maybe 20, 30, 40 points. The question is always, well, how wide do you draw the zone? How tight do you draw the zone, right? You know, it's not as simple as a 20-point or 30-point, you know, range for a zone, because volatility changes. You're gonna have to decide that for yourself. It depends on time frame. It depends on how much information you're taking into consideration. But when I draw a zone like this on my chart, that's not an end-all be-all. I'm not looking for the dead center of it. I'm not saying if we get down below it, we invalidated it. Like, that's not how I trade it. I want this on, you know, an area of interest down below, you know, down below yesterday's low here, within the middle of this kind of choppy range around the bottom end of this high volume node to say, hey, I'm interested down here. You know, I'm interested down here, like I was today, right? And then more context. What's the trend look like? You know, what's the higher time frame trend look like? What's the overall sentiment? Are we selling off every day? Are we pushing the upside every day? But test this stuff for yourself and you'll find out. You know, you might like a line. You know, you might like a level. And you might like it at a round number. You might say, like, I want the round numbers marked up. And I find price reacts really cleanly off of them. And when I go to draw a zone, I get close, right? I know I want to have a zone in here. And then I go to the round number, the round psychological number, always. Like maybe in, you know, in YM, that's the hundreds, right? That's fine. That's great. You know, you might say I have to be at a volume point of control, right? Whatever you do, just like anything else in trading, test it, back test it, forward test it, build confidence around it. For me, discretionary areas of interest, I can mark them up in 2 to 3 minutes from a naked chart. I like to use a little bit of volume profile, really just for convenience, just because I'm a little bit lazy with it, to be completely honest. I've been running no zones on my chart at all, just volume profile, visible range, and the daily volume profile, because that gives me my zones, that gives me my area of interest, right? You know, this year I did say I want to mark my chart up a little bit more by way of zones, but you know what I might do? I might get rid of some of these volume profiles. I might kind of tone it back, or maybe even VWAP. You know, and go levels in place of that. So, but whatever you do, know that one thing is not inherently better than the next, at least what I believe. Back test with it, build confidence, forward test with it, trade it with low risk, build some confidence in it yourself, and decide for yourself, you know, what the best is. That's my long rant on that. So I hope that if Pam left, you know, she can come back and take a look at this. Yes, bullish NQ. 1 hour and 1 day chart works well to get levels. Yeah. Look at the open and closes on the daily chart. Notice how it lines up with some good levels to use. Yeah, there you go. Some people are going to use daily opens and closes. Some people are going to use daily highs and lows. Some people are going to use the midnight open. Some are going to use Globex high and low. Some are going to use weekly high and low, pivot points, Fibonacci retracements. Like you could make a level out of whatever you want. Round psychological numbers, areas on order flow, right? You know, however you want to mark your levels, decide for yourself and then stick to it. And remember that one is not going to be better than the next, in my humble opinion. What's going to be better is what's best for you, personally, you. What you believe works well, what you find confidence in and have confidence to trade off of. You know, that's what's going to work best for you personally. But none of them have any crazy predictive power. People love to say, look at my levels, look at my levels. Yeah, that's great, bro. I could throw lines on the chart every damn day and say, look at how great my level is. And then when it doesn't hit or it just blows right through it, we just kind of ignore that one, right? So. Morning, gang. Hope no Trump tweets from Mr. Trump today to spoil the party. Bad day yesterday. Every trade just smacked me, even though I was going short off the open. XFA gone. Damn, Mike. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear it, brother. I'm sorry to hear it. It can feel that way. Yep. I think I'm going to watch this happen. Here's my entry. Oh, and here's my take profit. I think that's what I'm going to watch today, unfortunately, happen. Part of the game, chat. Part of the game. As far as a follow-up trade on this, I really don't have one. Yeah, I really don't have one. I was convinced if we were going to break lows and really start to sell off, I would be interested in a short. But I'm just going to sit patient on this now. A one stop for break even. Maybe we get some big movement later into the afternoon. But I'm going to sit patient on this one for now. Let's see. How are you guys doing? Couldn't get the day. Couldn't even get the $150 day. Silver up 100 an ounce. Dang. Silver ripping? Silver ripping to the upside, ripping everybody's face off. Silver shredding everybody. Let's see, Chatty McChat. Let's see. Yeah, this looks like we're going to at least find buyers for a head back to VWAP, maybe into these 50s. Yep. We'll have to see. $10.50. We're going to get our initial balance set. Initial balance is the first 1 hour opening range. Again, another arbitrary level. Are there statistics around it? Absolutely. Strong statistics around it, right? Strong objective statistics around it. Does that give it some insane predictive power on every single individual trade? No. Can it be used to structure risk? Maybe try to give you some context on the way the market is moving that day and how it may continue to move for the rest of the day? Like other tools that you use? Sure. Absolutely. I think so. But interested to see here if we go up and crack the high, which is what I was aiming for on that initial trade. Happy to be green on the week, but man, execution. A lot of review coming for me. For those of you guys that want to take a look at where these come from, and I'm going to yap about this a little bit today, because Edgeful, right now, you can still get 7 days free for Edgeful. I posted this in my Discord. You can still get 7 days free for Edgeful. Edgeful is a data provider. Right now, we're talking about the initial balance. This is where I get the stats on the initial balance. Initial balance breakout. You can see over the last 6 months, right? Over the last 6 months, if YM breaks one side of the initial balance, if YM breaks this high or breaks this low, over the last 6 months of data, it has not come back down or up to break the other side of that initial balance, right? Only 5%, little over 5% have we had no break, and about under 20%, 16.15% of the time, we've had a double break where we've had the opposite, right? Where it came up and broke one side and then down and broke the other side. If you guys want to check this out, is it up here? Nope, not that one. That one. 7 days free. I'm going to throw the link in the chat right now if you guys want to check it out. This is going away. I know everybody says it's going away. I shared in my Discord the exact message that I got, but you can try this for free. 100% for free if you want to check it out. But the free trial is going away on February 1st. It will just be 20% discount for yearly. So if you want a chance to try this out 100% free, there it is, guys. I think it's great to be able to try it out for free. I think it's awesome. I think they're probably getting rid of it because everybody abuses it with emails and credit cards and whatever they do, and they never pay for anything, and they just keep running free trials on everything. But if you want to check it out for free, if you want to be able to use this platform 100%, get all of the data for whatever it is you're trading, as you can see, there's a ton of different reports on here, not just initial balance, not just opening ranges, a ton of different ones. You can get a ton of statistics behind whatever it is you trade. I think this fits with any strategy. You could trade whatever you want. Support and resistance, order flow, ICT, SMC, divergences, convergences. It might be helpful to know the stats behind some of the instruments that you're trading, the times of the day that you're trading. I think this stuff can be super helpful, folks. So shout out Edgeful. Link is in the chat to try it for 7 days free. You don't need a code. You don't need anything. That link will take you to the 7-day free trial if you want to check it out. Outside of that, and I'm partnered and affiliated with Edgeful, important to note, outside of that, since I popped it up, they got 10 tickets left. 10 tickets left to Tampa. If you guys don't know, I will be in Tampa May 14th and 15th? May 15th and 16th. It's a Thursday and a Friday in May. If you guys want to check it out, link is down below this video. You could use code RDF to get the deal on that one. That is a paid event. It's an in-person event. I am super psyched and grateful to be speaking alongside the godfather of the anchored VWAP, Brian Shannon, along with Austin Silver and his entire team. Really, really cool to be alongside of so many different traders. Chris Drysdale, who was on the show, Randy, who's been on the show, Tanner, who's been on my stream, I mean. Really, really cool. Lawrence, badass trader. KV, badass trader. Bruce, Evan, everybody on here is really a heavy hitter. So it's really cool to get to speak live in person with these guys. I'm grateful for it. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to do so. If you want to check it out, link down below. But this is a 2-day in-person event. Strategy, mindset, psychology, tools in detail that we use. Obviously, a lot of VWAP, bookmap, talking about journaling, and then really what goes into trading prop firms profitably, right? And a lot of back and forth with the audience, right? A lot of questions asked. This is definitely not everybody comes up and then they just talk about their strategy and rants for forever. It's very interactive. There's panels, there's sessions where everybody's kind of breaking out and talking to each other, which is awesome. So if you guys want to check this out, link down below. Damn, hang on guys, I will be right back. I'm still not going anywhere. Still not going anywhere. Let me throw my chart back up as we watch this thing pop up to IB. Beautiful, beautiful. Be right back, guys. Hang on one second. All right. As I watch another painful trade, man. Painfully missed opportunity. Not yet. We'll see if we run right back down through the lows and would have been a stop at. But so far, it looks like it would have been a nice W. As we get ready to watch this one continue, we're going to run a giveaway. We're going to be giving away a Top 1 Futures Ignite Instant Funded account. If you want the chance to win, go ahead and hop in the 100% free Discord. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. Oh, we got some questions in chat. But if you guys want to hop right in, there it is. You have to be in the Discord to get the link. Link's going to drop in just a minute. While I answer some questions, smash the like button if you want this one to drop. Do whatever you want to do. Hit the like button. Don't hit the like button. Subscribe, don't subscribe. I'll be here streaming live almost every damn day. But we got 50 people on. We got 28 likes. Let's see if you guys can run it up to... Yeah, let's see if we can run it up to 50 likes. We've had 212 people cycle on and off. There you go. We got 30 likes now. Go ahead and run the YouTube up to 50 likes, and we will drop this giveaway for them. And then I'll answer a couple questions. There you go, guys. Give away 50 likes. Let's see. Are you coming to Europe? I don't know. I personally am not coming to Europe, but I know Austin Silver and his team has done the boot camps all over the world. All over the world. Will it be recorded? Probably not. They probably won't be a full recording. Definitely not something that you're going to be able to watch online. It is going to be an in-person event, and it's a paid deal, so not something they're just going to hand over at the end of it. Probably down the road, a year down the road like he did this year, a lot of everybody's sessions and recordings will come out from it. But it's an in-person deal, you know, for that reason. And honestly, the benefit of this one, guys, like the benefit of this one is being in person, right? You can stream live with me and almost everybody else on here, right? You can get questions and answers. You can watch how we trade. You know, what is the benefit of paying and flying out to go to Tampa, you know, to be in person? And also, I'll preface this, guys. I pay to go out there. I get kickbacks, right? I get help. It's obviously mutually beneficial. Being, you know, getting the exposure, getting videos, right? Getting in front of a whole bunch of people. You know, there is things kicked back to me, but this is an expense. I will have spent more money, you know, out there with all of you guys. So, you know, come, don't come. It's no skin off my back. It's not exactly the same as using a code or a link as far as, you know, that type of incentive. But it is a paid, you know, event. So I think it's important to note that because all my stuff is free 99. This is not my event. This is Austin Silver's ASFX bootcamp that I'm guest speaking at. So, you know, important to note that. But like, what's the benefit out here before it sounds like I'm trying to sell it to you? In-person stuff is second to none, right? Being live, like you guys are right here with me and live with any of these other traders, that's like as close to you, you know, as close as it can get. Past that is like pre-made videos, right? And after the fact results. But being live in person when you could watch in real time and talk and communicate and, you know, experience being around 100 traders that are on the same journey as you for days and evenings, there's just nothing else like it, right? It's obviously not just immersive, it's, you know, us communicating together. I take so much away from everybody else that you see here and all of the other traders that just show up, right? They just come out. I really think there's nothing else like it. I used to go to every trade show that I could possibly go to in my past career for the same reason. I'd be able to talk to people on the phone. I'd be able to communicate, be able to see products and, you know, go to race events. All that stuff was great. But to be able to get around, you know, at that point, it was tens of thousands of the same people in the same industry for, you know, days or a week at a time. It's a huge expense. It's disruptive to your own life, right? You have to travel, you have to pay for flights, hotels, going to the actual events. Massively beneficial. I always saw it as a massive positive return on investment. And I'm planning on going to other events, ones that I'm not speaking at and probably paying to go to for the same reason. Not just to go out and, learn a strategy or learn how to make money trading or, you know, learn an indicator or something like that. It's far more than that, right? It's far more than that. I think, honestly, if that's all you're going for this, you know, event or anything else, in the trading space or somewhere else, you probably could get away cheaper doing something else. But if you're gonna go there and communicate and talk, and I know we got a few people from my community, which I'm super hyped about coming out, it's next level, man. It's awesome. So that is the play. All right, we got 50 likes in the chat, guys. 50 likes on the live stream. Beautiful. You guys hit that easily. I should have sent you for more. Hang on, guys. Let me get this rolling. Get ready for the link. Link is in Discord. It's giveaway time, guys. We're gonna get somebody funded with an instant funded account, a 50K Ignite instant funded account from Top 1 Futures. The rules real quick. I know this is repetitive. Form is in Discord. The link to fill it out is in Discord. Excuse me. Only fill the form out one time. Please don't use your brothers and your mothers and your sisters and your grandma's email. You're going to get banned from the giveaways. You're going to get banned from my stream. And you're going to get banned from the prop firms. Multiple. Don't do that. Winner is going to be picked here in 3 minutes. I'm going to give you guys all but 3 minutes to get this filled out. 11:06, the form is finito. You have to be in the live chat. That's the only other thing. No purchase necessary. You don't have to use a code, a link, none of that stuff, man. Basic contact info, but you gotta be here. If you're not here, if you're not in Discord, I don't know how you filled the form out in 3 minutes, right? So you gotta be here to claim it. You gotta be in the live chat. You gotta say what's up. We're gonna run a duck race in about 3 minutes on this one, guys. That's the deal. That's the deal. I see responses rolling in. Appreciate you guys hopping on as always, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hopping on live sessions. It's crazy to see how much I try to do the gratitude piece because I like to do this, and I don't think I've done it enough as of recent. I do not claim to be the best trader in the world. I don't claim to have it all figured out. I don't have some magic strategy or approach or something that you could do that's going to make you $1 zillion. None of that stuff. I'm happy to share what real trading looks like for me. First off, I do think I have some juice, but I'm biased. I think I've taken quite a few payouts from prop firm accounts. I think I've traded consistently enough to get into live accounts and then taken quite a few prop firm payouts from the same live account that I've been trading every single damn day. I've made quite a bit of money in live accounts. I continue to do all of these things, but you get to judge that harshly for yourself. You get to see a painful mistrade like today. Unfortunately, you get to see some really not great execution over the last 2 weeks, I'd say. Because I share my trading live with you guys. I'm happy to do that, and I'm happy to do that for free, right? My community is 100% free. I don't have a paid course. I don't have a paid mentorship. I don't do coaching. I've done some different stuff in the past. I haven't done any of that for a long period of time. Free 99. Questions answered. All of the juice that I possibly can. Tons of videos that I put up. I am really happy to run it this way. If you guys want to use a link and a code from or code from one of the companies, software prop firms that I am partnered and affiliated with that pays me on the back end, I would appreciate that. That's great. Do you have to do any of that? Absolutely not. And I would encourage you not to if you don't feel that it's the best opportunity for you. I don't need you to use the code. I don't need you to use a link. I'm happy to say that. I'm grateful to be in a place in my life where I don't need that. If this is a good opportunity for you to check out Top 1 Futures because it's 60% off and you want the best deal and using code RDF gets you the best deal, it's a nice mutually beneficial relationship. But if it's not the best opportunity for you by way of you doing your own research and deciding that, please don't do that. You know, we don't need any of that. So outside of that, just in general, as we're coming up on 11:06, I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for being here. Anybody that hops on stream, that likes anything, that subscribes, that doesn't like anything or do anything, and maybe just takes what I'm saying and doing here as some help and maybe moves a little bit further along in their trading journey, I'm grateful for that. I'm really grateful to be able to have that type of impact. It's been awesome to get so much feedback this year. We've got so many traders. I have so many traders that have reached out to me. It's really heartwarming and awesome to be part of so many people's journeys. But I've had so many people reach out to say they've taken their first payout. I've never seen so many people take payouts in my community than over the last few months. It's been absolutely insane. So many people that have made the move in the right direction, people that have taken max payouts, their first payout, and everything in between. So I'm grateful to be able to do this, guys. I really am. So thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. If you don't have a community, if you don't have somebody that you like to watch and follow, you know, somebody that you feel is being honest and showing you what trading looks like and just trying to be a normal effing human the way that nobody is on these, you know, on the internet or socials, I'm happy to be that person. And, you know, if not, I encourage you to move on and find somebody else, right? Because I won't be for everybody, but somebody probably out there is. Join the community. Happy to have you, man. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. That's the message. All right. We have 11:07. I gave you guys an extra minute or two. The form is done. We are getting ready to run a duck race. We're going to get somebody funded with an instant funded account from Top 1 Futures of $50K. That's right, the big boy. Let's get ready to rumble. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We got 101. Nope. Even 100? An even 100 again? Damn, you guys are hitting the nail on the head. We got an even 100 here. Nice. Very nice. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Remember, you have to be here in the chat to claim it. So if you are not on YouTube or Kick or X, you're not going to be able to claim it. So that's a problem. Some of you put no usernames down. If you put no username down, I can't even give you the account. You can't even be in. Also, you have to be in Discord with the Discord name that you used. Really, that's really the only two requirements. You got to be here on the live stream to claim it, right? And then you actually have to be in Discord, right? If if you were winning the account. So let's get somebody funded. Chatty McChat chat. We have, no, 99. 99 in a row. We have 99 ducks in a row on this one, guys. And before we run the duck race, I'm going to plug them one more time if you want to check out Top 1 Futures. This is, in my humble biased opinion, because I'm partnered and I'm affiliated and I stand to make money. You should do your own research and make your own decisions. But in my humble biased opinion, this is by far the best opportunity for an instant funded account. I encourage you to say, Zach, you're probably full of shit, and that's probably not the case. I'd encourage you, go and take a look for yourself. After you hop off the live session, maybe you have 3 minutes, maybe you trade with props, and you say, I don't know, let me see if this guy is just blowing smoke, man. Maybe he's just a random, affiliate or partner. Code RDF gets you 60% off your first or next Trade-Evate NinjaTrader TradingView account. And they have had a positive rule change. I would encourage you to look at one of two accounts. The instant funded, the OG instant funded, or the straight to funded Ignite. The Ignite instant funded, straight to funded Ignite, whatever you want to call it. One of those has the best rule set in the industry for instant funded accounts relative to price. The other one is just the absolute cheapest account in the world. So if you guys want to check it out, link is there. Again, I talked about this a little bit on... here, I'll run the duck race as I'm yapping here. Good luck, everybody. I talked about this a little bit on IG yesterday, right? I'm not the best trader in the world. I'm certainly not the biggest YouTuber, right? I'm grateful to say this, truthfully, honestly. I can partner with anybody that I want. Almost anybody that I want. Software, prop firms in the space. You guys have watched me trade on almost every major prop firm live stream in the past, right? They're all in my DMs, all in my emails. I'm grateful to say that. Why would I not partner with the firm, the software that I actually want to use, where I feel I can make the most money trading, and where I feel I can make the most money being a partner, being an affiliate, and where I think is going to be around for the long haul, right? Whatever you think my incentives are, it's laid out right there. Why would I not do what's best for me and what's best for my community, right? So, feel free to check it out. I think that's an important note. Zach, hi, I took a trade in 30 seconds. No. Why would that breach your account? Time Pass Core. If you're asking that question, which you are in the chat, I encourage you to go to the main site, either through the link that is my link or to the main site. Go to the main site, go to the frequently asked questions, and read the rules. It's obvious that you did not read the rules if you're asking that question. There's a minimum hold time on Top 1 Futures, and it's under 30 seconds. So it's really important that you understand all of the rules, or I don't think you stand a chance to make any money and make it to a payout. So that might sound harsh, but read the rules, guys. Know the rules, right? The answer is no. It's a 10-second minimum hold time, and even that, occasional violations are acceptable. $50 seconds to go. Let's see what we got here, guys. $20 seconds to go. Let's see. Lee top 1, Caleb up top, Snow Jorb, Chris, BT Art, Purple Ninja Facts down on the bottom, making a run for it. Purple Ninja, I know you're on here. Uh-oh. Who is the George Washington duck? Wait a minute, someone out of nowhere. Oh, Normal almost took that one. Mohai Odin. I have no idea how to pronounce your guys' names, and I'm sorry for butchering them. Are you in the chat? Mr. Mohai or Mohi. Let's see who this is. Remember, don't go anywhere yet, guys. If you didn't win, the person actually has to be here in the chat. That should be your YouTube username, Mohai Udin. Let's see. I'm going to give this gentleman... Ah, there he is. He's in the chat. Awesome. He's in the chat. He's in the chat. Hold on. Hold on, bro. He's in the chat. We're gonna give it to him, but I gotta ask you a question, man. Gotta ask you a question. Wait, let me go to your channel. Why is your name different, Mohai Udin? Oh no, yes, you're actually your channel name. Great. Awesome, man. W's in the chat for my man. Sorry, I always got to be a little bit skeptical. W's in the chat for my man. You know what, guys? It's Friday. You know what I'm thinking, chat? You know what I'm thinking, guys? I don't know, guys. What do you think? Chat, let me know. You want to run it again? You want to run it again? You want to punish all the people that hopped off the live stream because I saw the views drop after we ran this one? Do you guys want to run it again? I don't know. Let me know in chat. Let me know what you think. Go ahead. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Some people said no. They're like, no, don't run it anymore. I don't know. No, we don't want another one. Don't run it again. Don't hit that button. I don't want another free funded. Everybody said yes. You know what we're going to do, guys. We're going to run it back again. We're going to run another one today. It's Friday. I appreciate you guys for being here. Chat blew up on that one. Damn. You guys really wanted it again. Okay. We're going to run it. All right, guys. First and foremost. Form's not going to open up. Form's not going to open up again. I saw somebody say that. Spin the chair. Here's what we got going on, guys. We're going to run it back. For the person that asked, Mohai or anybody, you will get the account directly from Top 1 Futures to the email that you provided. There's nothing else you have to do. It'll come straight from Top 1 Futures. Here's what we got going on, guys. We're going to run it back. Maybe, I like to encourage people to hang around, right? Sometimes we run them back. Sometimes we do extra giveaways. I don't know. 3 minutes on the clock. We're going to run it again. You have another chance to win a 50K Ignite instant funded account from Top 1 Futures. Let's run it, guys. Let's run it. Like I said, man, a lot of people just dip out. Now, here's what's going to happen. Chat. You got a really high chance of the person that wins this one not being here because they were only here for the giveaway and they dipped out as soon as the first one ran. You know what that means? We might have to run it back. I don't know. I wouldn't go anywhere. It's up to you. Listen, I'm biased, right? It's my stream. I do better. The stream gets pushed more. I make more money if there's more people on here, right? We know that. You also might have a better opportunity of winning funded accounts because sometimes we just run them back and sometimes the person's not on here. But anyway, I appreciate you guys being on, man. Let's have some fun. It's Friday. I've had a back and forth start to this year, man. I've had some choppy ass trading. We'll see, man. We'll see what we got today. See if we can have some fun. Let's see. Chatty McChat. Let's see what we got. 50 seconds to go. Sorry for getting quiet there, guys. Let's see. Mohai Udon. It'll come straight to your email, my brother. Coming straight to your email. The account will come straight to your email. You don't have to do anything. And yeah, guys, 30 seconds to go. I like to talk a lot about my trading. I like to do a lot of review. I got videos out to my editor. If you guys want to take a look at my review of some of these live trading sessions, some of the frustrating start to this year after a really strong end of the year in this Top 1 Futures account, I got a video coming out on it, man. So I'm not gonna overdo it too much on this one, but talking about some trades, right? Mapping them out, showing some frustrating sessions. Kine Nils, the King Duck, the number 18, taking the W on this one. Now, here's the question. Kine Nils. Let's see where he's at. Let's see where he's at in chat. My man has got to be here in chat. Let's see. Where's my man at? There he is in chat. There we go. We got some kissy faces in the chat. W's in the chat for Mr. Kine Nils. We got 2 people funded with an instant funded account today. Congratulations, W's in the chat. Plenty of W's. Listen, hold on. Everybody don't go anywhere. See, a lot of people say run it again. I'm gonna give you a little bit of info. Just wait a minute. Probably gonna want to hear this. I got guests coming on stream next week, and I'm going on other people's streams next week. On Monday, I will not be here. I will be on another live stream. Hop in the Discord if you want all the details on that. I'll be sending the link, sending everything, man. If you're not in the Discord and you're in the duck races, you're doing something wrong because I don't know how you would get the form. Let me throw this in here again, but I'm gonna give you a little bit of insights on giveaways for next week. When I have days off of the stream, and when I have guests on stream, I'm gonna be doing even more giveaways. Okay, I'm gonna be doing something a little bit different. Along with that, I got some travel coming up. I'm gonna have some days where I'm not trading live with you guys. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna front run those giveaways. I'm gonna back run the giveaways. So if you didn't win today, one of the 2 giveaways or any of the other ones that we ran this week, feel free to tune in next week. I would encourage you to hop on stream because I'm gonna be doing some giveaways. And just so you know, I'm gonna tell you now, we're gonna run them early in the stream. I'm gonna run them as soon as I hop on, and I'm gonna run some in the middle, and I'm gonna run some at the end. I tend to run them all around this 11 o'clock time frame, and I can see the view count jump because I trained you guys all like puppy dogs to know when the food's coming out, and you all hop on the stream to get the giveaway. I want to reward everybody that hops on the stream. I want to encourage people to hang out here for the whole thing. If you want a chance to win multiple giveaways, guess what's coming? Early in the stream, 9:15 a.m. Eastern, the stream starts. Probably going to run for around the 2-hour mark like I've been doing for the last couple sessions. Been running these bad boys long. You might want to be on the entire stream if you want a chance to win more accounts. Up to you. Not everybody can hang out that long. I'm just throwing it out there. Random days, random times. We're getting back to random times. So, chat. Anyway, let's come back over here to the markets before we get ready to wrap it up. I don't feel too bad. You know, this is what I was looking for a take profit. We didn't hit that quite yet. Starting to turn back off of VWAP here. Interested to see where we go for the rest of the day. I don't know that I'm going to get a trade, guys. I don't know that I'm going to get one on. I'm going to try to pay attention to find something. I'm going to have to see how this develops. If we just blast off higher, I don't know that I'm going to find something. If we pull back down in here, we start to get back down around these lows. We'll see. Anyway, guys, hope you had a good trading day. Hope you had an even better trading day than me. Ending flat, break even, $12. I can go get a bowl of Chipotle, maybe. Anyway, appreciate you guys hopping on. It's been a very fun week. Bunch of people hopping on stream. We got plenty more hopping on stream next week. I'll be trading on other streams. I'll have more people hopping on stream. Hop in Discord. As always, I'll keep you updated. Also, follow me across social. Sorry, one last plug. If you want more giveaways, if you want to keep up with what I got going on across a whole bunch more than just what we got going on here on YouTube, hop on IG. That's where I'm most active outside of YouTube. Be more than happy to have you guys on there with me. Anyway, guys, quick disclaimer before we wrap it up. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Make sure you do your own research, make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even if funded prop from accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content. Like Top on Futures, code RDF, Bookmap, Edgeful, and others. Appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for another solid week, man. Tune in on YouTube, tune in on IG, tune in live here next week. Hope to see you guys soon. Have an awesome weekend. Hope you guys get outside, touch some grass, get off the charts for a little bit. If you got to put your work in on the charts, man. Talk to you guys soon. Talk to y'all on Discord. Talk to you across socials this weekend.